What I'm about to read is going to be graphic, so if you have kids in the room, either have them leave, or if you aren't able to do that, listen to this while there aren't any children around. This article is very disturbing, but it's something that I think needs to be shared. I found this article on Lipstick Alley last week, and it states that male transgender arrested for raping 4-year-old girl, and disturbing vids and photos of the act pretty much went viral. So it says this: a transgender youth from Lawrence, Massachusetts, who 7 months ago urged locals to vote yes on a veto referendum enabling those who identify as transgender to access locker rooms and similar facilities designated for the opposite sex, has now been slapped with sexual exploitation of child and distribution of child pornography charges. Jacob Nieves, a 19-year-old man who identifies as a woman named Dakota, is accused of raping a 4-year-old girl and sharing the images with an undercover agent. 19-year-old Jacob Nieves, a man who identifies as a woman, did knowingly employ, use, persuade, induce, entice, and coerce a 4-year-old girl to engage in any sexually explicit conduct with him for the purpose of producing any visual depiction of such conduct, court records show. Mr. Nieves exchanging messages with another person in a kick group created for those interested in trading images of pedophilia. Kik is a mobile messaging app. As the chat progressed, Mr. Nieves allegedly shared with the conversation partner images of a small child performing indecent acts on his penis. Unbeknownst to Mr. Nieves, the conversation partner was an undercover federal agent. His transfer of photos portraying him engaged in illegal acts with a minor sparked a federal investigation, according to the criminal complaint. On August 14th, federal agents obtained a warrant to search the home of Mr. Nieves, which is located on the 200 block of Lawrence Street. The search produced a phone, which agents say contains photos and videos of Mr. Nieves sexually violating a minor girl in the bedroom of his home. Christina DeLorio Sterling, a spokeswoman for U.S. Attorney Andrew Lellin, says Mr. Nieves admitted to the agents during the search that he had made and distributed the obscene material. If convicted on both counts, Mr. Nieves faces anywhere from 20 and 50 years behind bars, up to a lifetime of supervised release and a $250,000 fine. Mr. Nieves is being held in federal custody. Now, this is what I think is very interesting, though. It says that the Massachusetts Question 3, which was a referendum in 2018, asked the question of gender identity anti-discrimination veto referendum. This was a thing that this Jacob Nieves cat was trying to fight for. So it was said that it was approved in 2018 with 1,806,742 voters marking yes on the ballot to uphold the state's gender identity policy. The Massachusetts policy prohibits discrimination on the basis of gender identity in places and public accommodations, including such sex-specific areas as restrooms and locker rooms. The penalty for each violation ranges from up to $100 and or up to 30 days in prison to $2,500 and or up to a year in prison. In addition, a civil penalty of between $10,000 and $50,000 may be imposed on each violation. Now I'm gonna go in on this shit, because the one thing, if you know about me, I don't care for transgenders, and I'm gonna tell you why. Transgenders are not like are not of the transgenders that was called transsexuals during the 70s, 80s, and even the 90s. First of all, when you had the classification of a transsexual and a transvestite, there was a clear cut. You knew the difference between the two. The transsexual had an operation. Most of the time, it was male to female. The transvestite was a person who liked to dress like the opposite sex. We usually call transvestites men who dress like women. You could differentiate the two. It was a simpler day and time, and I have to say both of them understood who they were. They usually didn't change who they were. They were pretty much confident within themselves. And you didn't really have this whole thing of this gender fluidity and this whole term of transgender. When we get to the late 2000s, the whole term transgender becomes popular. But they don't like to use the term transsexual because they say transsexual had a stigma. With transgender, you don't have to have the operation. You can be a woman and live your life. You could be a biological man and live your life as a woman with just having the top surgery and never have bottom surgery. Or you can be a woman and just get your breast removed and live your life as a man and still get your period. You can also pretty much change your gender anytime you want. So maybe the next 5 years you feel like a woman, then you want to be a man again. You can also feel like a man for 5 years and then feel like be a woman. So it's this whole playing game around people's gender. This whole Jacob Nieves cat, I believe Jacob Nieves was molested, okay? And he probably was molested by a man, and his mother didn't protect him. So he took his frustration out on a little girl. He probably was molested at the age of 4, the same age that he molested this girl, okay? And he was basically getting it back at what was probably done to him. Most men who become transgenders, they'll tell you they were molested. They're trying to run away from their original identity as a way of coping with themselves, of the pain that would happen to them. Do I think he's innocent? Hell no. Because Jacob is a predator. Jacob didn't get the help he should have gotten. Now, you notice in this article, Jacob, they didn't call him Dakota. They called him Jacob. They don't want to claim you. See, when you was doing a politics game, you was basically considered a woman. Now you got the stain of molestation and child predator on you. They calling you by your actual gender because that's what you are. You are a man. You are a man. Them 2 chromosomes don't change nothing. And I think we as a society, we need to stop with this. It's one thing to be, for the rights of gay people. If you want them to be married, have children, that's different. Because those people pay taxes. And I don't think what they're doing, if they're doing it amongst themselves, is such the worst thing on the planet. But what this shit is going around, this shit can kill off a society without any problem. Because even homosexual men and women can still produce a child biologically. Your transgender child can't if they have that surgery. They can't do it. It's a cutoff. And that's one of the main reasons why this is being promoted the way it is. Now, this is what I'm going to say. Jacob is going to go to jail. He's going to go to jail for a long time. I would say he's going to go to jail for at least 40 years. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Massachusetts don't play with you. That's why I would never step foot in Massachusetts. That's one state you don't want to thug out. You will go down. Your life will be destroyed. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was all said and done. It's a good thing they caught the predator. The bad thing, though, is that this little girl is scarred for life. She has to get help. Hopefully, she'll forget about what happened. But in my opinion, the best thing for Dakota to do is for Dakota, not for Dakota, little girl's parents to do. They need to basically give her therapy. Give that girl therapy immediately. And also, it's best for her to leave the town. I would just leave. I would just leave because it's not healthy. It's not a healthy environment. It's just a sad story. I had to report it. I didn't want to, but I felt that it's good to share because molestation is no joke. And with that being said, thank you for listening to this. If you have any comments, questions, you can comment on the video below. Other than that, you can share the video, hit the notification bell. I wouldn't even hit the like button because this is controversial. But if you want to, that's on you. So with that being said, take care and have a wonderful day.